Hi, I'm Bridget, and thank you so much for joining me this morning for 10 minutes of morning yoga to get your day started. And we're going to be focusing on opening up through the hips and hamstrings today. So we'll make our way into our tabletop to find our downward facing dog. So bringing the palms underneath the shoulders, the hip points above the knees. Then we're just going to walk the hands forward an inch or two, tuck the toes under, and then press to lift the knees away from our mat and send the hips back. You can adjust the hands and the knees as you need to here, spreading the fingers really nice and wide, and then pedaling out through the feet, so dropping one heel and then the other, breathing into the backs of the legs. You might like to come up onto the tippy toes, just finding a little bit of movement here in your downward facing dog. Connecting with the breath, so taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and exhale out through the nose. And give the knees a nice generous bend here so that you can press really nice and strong through the arms and press the chest back towards the tops of the thighs. So really bend the knees. Imagining a nice long line from the top of the head right down to the tailbone, nice and active through the core. And then when you're ready, we're going to look forward towards the hands, bend the knees, and go for a nice slow walk up towards the top of our mat. Hinging at the hips again, give those knees a nice bend here so that you can sink the belly down to the tops of the thighs, rounding through the head and the neck here. Maybe giving the head a little shake. You might like to go for a little sway from side to side. Opening up through the hamstrings. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to trace the hands up the front of our legs, flatten out through the spine, find your halfway lift, draw the shoulders away from the ears. We're hugging the belly button back towards the spine, so nice and active through the core here. You can bend the knees as much as you need to here, breathing into the backs of the legs. And then exhale, we round it forward. We'll plant the palms, walk the feet back into our plank pose, holding here for 3 nice deep breaths, tucking the tailbone under, nice and active through the core. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, imagining a nice long line from the top of the head right down to the heels. And then slowly we're going to come back up into that forward fold. So see if you can start to step the feet forward as you lift the hips up. Come back to that forward fold. And this time we're going to walk the feet as wide as our yoga mat. So bringing the feet out to the sides. Again, give those knees a nice generous bend. So really sinking the upper body down. Nice release through the lower back. Breathing into the backs of the legs, seeing if you can press down into all 4 corners of each of your feet. Maybe going for that little sway from side to side again here. Give the head a little shake. And then we're going to interlace the hands at the base of the spine and then start to reach them up and over. So pressing the upper body down towards the legs, staying with the breath here. Nice stretch through the shoulders. And then we'll bring the hands back to the base of the spine. Unravel the fingers, bring the hands back to the mat, planting the palms just beneath the shoulders. We're going to walk the feet back into our plank pose. So give yourself a moment to set yourself up here. Draw the shoulders away from the ears again. Tuck that tailbone under. Hug the belly button up. Nice and strong through the legs. Nice and strong through the arms here. Pressing down into all 10 fingerprints. And then on an exhale, we'll lower the knees, find child's pose for just a moment. So keeping the knees together, bringing the big toes together and then sinking the hips down towards the heels. We're going to walk our arms out nice and long in front of us. Letting the forehead rest on your mat, maybe going for a little rock from side to side. Staying with those nice long deep breaths here in our child's pose. Taking this time to go inward. Maybe just checking in with how you feel. Not judging anything, just noticing and then letting it go. And then slowly we'll make our way back onto the hands and knees, cross one foot over the other and then walk it back to seated. And then from here, we're going to find our Baddha Konasana forward fold. So we'll bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall out to either side. See if you can get those hips to start pressing forward. So if you feel like you're rounding back a little bit here, see if you can start to create that nice long line through the spine, pressing the hips forward. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, and then on an exhale, we'll start to round forward. Nice release through the spine, relaxing through the head and the neck. You should feel a nice stretch through the hips and the inner legs. Breathing deeply here, maybe closing down the eyes. And then slowly we'll start to roll it back up to seated. So starting at the base of the spine, letting the head and the neck come up last. And then when you get there, we're going to send the right leg out to the side and draw that left foot in towards us. We'll turn the upper body to face that right foot and then hug those right toes or draw those right toes back towards us. Then we'll start to walk the hands forward as we round forward over that right leg. Nice and active through the toes so they're drawing back, knees lifting up towards the body. Maybe closing down the eyes. Just letting the hands rest wherever feels comfortable. Letting the upper body get really heavy here. And really using the breath to open up through the back of that right leg. So sending the breath to the stretch. And then slowly we'll walk the hands back in and then take it to the other side. So sending the left leg out to the side this time, draw the right foot in towards you. And then we'll turn the upper body to face that left foot, hug those left toes back towards us, and then start to walk the hands forward, rounding over that left leg. Getting really heavy through the upper body, just letting the hands rest down on your mat, down on the floor. Seeing if you can keep both hip points pressing down into your mat. Use the breath here. Starting to rain here. Relaxing the shoulders. You should feel a nice opening through the side body here as well. And slowly coming back up to seated, so walking the hands back in and coming to a nice comfortable seated position to close our practice. So whatever feels right for you here this morning. Just letting the hands rest on the knees, closing down the eyes. Letting the breath slow down. Enjoying this moment of stillness. And seeing if you can become really present in this moment. Knowing that you can come back to this space at any time throughout your day. Just closing down the eyes. And being with the breath as it passes. And then we'll bring the hands together at heart space and bow through the head. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. I hope you have an amazing day ahead of you. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.